You're alright guys, what is going on? It's David Cloden from KZR Racing and welcome back to my F1 Manager 22 career mode for the final round of the season at the Yas Marina circuit, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, do check out my channel, the playlist will be there. Final round of the season, not too long until Yas Marina, so we've only got a few bits and pieces to take care of, but yeah, long season, not produced what I would have liked to, but like I said at the start of the season, it is a learning experience for me. Not much. I haven't done any like real manager games before. This is the first one I've done. So you've got the usual post-race debrief. We've got the memorabilia room refurbished and the boardroom complete. So, and the hospitality area is now complete as well. So, if we take a look at the facilities, we've only got 2 days remaining on the factory. That will be done literally during the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and then the CFD simulator will be done before the end of the year, which is what we're hoping for. Big things for next season. And if we go on to current projects, we got the suspension research will be done after Abu Dhabi. And then these ones, again, the front wing and rear wing should be done by the end of the year, I hope. But we'll have to see how that goes. So, as it stands right now, not much going on at the moment. So, we've got the helipad in poor condition, so we better refurbish that. That'll be done after Abu Dhabi.
We're at Yas Island in Abu Dhabi for the Formula One Grand Prix. The Yas Marina circuit was completed in 2009, and we've seen a fair share of celebration and commiseration over the years since then. The scenery may be spectacular, but this weekend, all eyes will be on the track. There's a reason why the Yas Marina circuit is used as a test track. The long straights put engine power through its paces, while the twists and bends make medium speed downforce just as important at this challenging circuit. There's nothing like a race weekend in Formula One.
Okay, all dry all weekend. It should be. It's the in the middle of the Emirates. So, same as before, we're going to stick Jack in the car for practice one, and send the guys in to simulate and see how they do on the setup knowledge to start with. So Verstappen has a penalty, so does Russell, Zhou and Hamilton. Hopefully Verstappen actually serves his penalty this time. It's a weird glitch. It's only happened twice, I think. The first time it happened was with Bottas at Silverstone and Max at, I believe it was Mexico, I believe. It's either Mexico or Cota. But that's pretty much the preface. Both the Williams have got penalties. And Jack is only 2 tenths off Sebastian, so not bad again, considering the difference in rating between them. And wow, 79 confidence for Vettel, 86 for Duran. So this is going to be, this might be a little bit easier time for the setups in all honesty. So let's have a look at Sebastian. 3 greats and 2 goods, but let's see if we can get that a little bit better. Okay, a few little tweaks for Sebastian. I haven't messed around with the wings too much. It was just a case of getting his cornering, braking stability and traction into a bit better zones. So we'll have to see how that goes. So compounds, hard tyres. The tyre wear around Abu Dhabi historically hasn't been too bad, so I might be able to get away with the one set of tyres during this session. As for Stroll, got him into a good place. Optimal on the straights, good. Right, let's see if we can do a little bit of tweaking here. Okay, again, minor tweaks on the wings for Stroll, because they're in an okay place right now. So we'll see what happens after this run, and then we have centralised the cornering, braking, stability and traction more in the other areas. So let us, same as before, hard tyres, 22 laps. So we'll go. We'll skip ahead to the end of the runs, providing anything doesn't happen, and we'll see how things go. Okay, we're midway through the guys' second runs. We've just come up with a crash on track, so we'll see. VSC has been deployed, so I'm going to ignore that for the time being.
Exit of 6. Yellow exit of 6. Copy.
So,
like there's been a crash.
and
Let's
it's
see what
Albon
happened
who's
there.
crashed
Now we see the Williams
at
here.
the end of the back straight. Is he going to lock up and go straight on? Yeah, he is. Can't make the corner
the
and
crash.
bounces off the wall. So I'm assuming that's the end of his session
Such high hope.
on a day where he's already got penalties, and yeah, he's out of the session already. So we'll wait until the VSC deploys, finishes, and then hopefully we can finish off the. We'll skip past this. We'll finish off the session and see how the guys are doing on their setups. Well, that's the end of the second practice session. We got Stroll on a quick lap up to 8th place. Sebastian's still down here in 9th, but you'll see in a second. Well, we won't see in a second. We managed to get Sebastian up to 92. Stroll, on his first run, got 96% on the setup confidence. I did send him out for a second run, but he didn't quite get that last run finished, so you got 4 out of 5. Still no still nothing on the braking stability, but yeah, I think what I'm going to do, because his highest confidence is 96, I'm not going to mess around with that, so I'm going to put him back to where he was and leave him as is. And then as for Sebastian, we're going to put Stroll on the medium tyres, a set of medium tyres, and we're going to send him out for a while. It says 30 laps on those mediums, so we're going to go, well, it says 31, but we'll put him for 30, and then we will put his pace mode down a bit. As for yeah, that's all good. As for Sebastian, we'll do a bit of tweaking and see what we can do. Right, very, very minimal amount of tweaking for Sebastian, because he's currently okay at the moment, in a good place. So we'll go mediums. We won't go too long for him. We'll do the usual 22 laps, because he's okay for track acclimatisation. We just need Stroll on a long run out there to get his up. So we will go through into practice 3, skip towards the end if anything doesn't happen, and see how the setups fare. And we're only so many minutes into the session, and we've already had a yellow flag pop up.
Single yellow.
The VSC, and it's Sonoda.
Now look at this. It was the Alpha Tauri driver involved.
At the end of turn 1, and I am actually
something went very, very
into the barrier. And I'm very lucky that I think that was Sebastian ahead of him. Didn't get taken out in that process, but Sonoda still hasn't retired. He's still on track, but he has got damage to his car that he'll need to stop for. So that's at least not going to slow down with the VSC then, at least. So let's carry on. Let's carry on and leave the guys to it. And it just cut the Stroll saying he looked up. I've gone to his camera, and he's slammed into the wall.
Let's take a look
At
the
turn
replay.
6,
Let's have a
Stroll,
look here. This was the
why?
Aston Martin. Dear me, they won't have been expecting that.
Well, he's out of the session. And that's another repair bill that I can't afford. Well, if he's damaged the engine, then he's pretty much written off for the weekend. If he's damaged the engine and the gearbox again, he's pretty much written off for the weekend. So, alright, focusing on Sebastian as usual. It's annoying as well because I only put Stroll out there. I didn't even have him pushing. I put him on light on the tyres because all I wanted him to do was just get his track acclimatisation up. There was no need for him to actually go and do what he did. So annoying. Well, this is the last race we have to worry about him doing this sort of thing anyway, so...
Well done. Car was great.
Copy.
Sebastian's dropped to 91 on his thing, so we'll have to sort that out. And see how things go, see if we can do anything better for the end of the session. Okay, that's the end of practice 3. Not much to talk about really, especially with Stroll, but Sebastian, I couldn't get better than the 92% he had, so while we're going to qualifying, I'm going to revert to his... I'm going to revert back to his highest one, which is the 92% before we send him out. And Stroll, I'm going to have to do the same for him. Put it back to where it was. So, also car parts. These, well, they pretty much smashed up everything, including the engine and the gearbox. So, fortunately, there's no damage, so I don't have to change anything. But still, it's an inconvenience. So, we'll go through in the qualifying. We'll go to the end of the first runs and see how we stand up against anyone who's around us at the time. Right, coming up to the end of the guys' first runs now. Vettel went out first. I took over manual control from him and left Stroll on automatic because I wanted to see if we can get Vettel into a better position. So he's going around the final corner now and head towards the line, and he's going to set a 126. That's going to be beaten by the next two cars behind us, one of which is an Alpine. And Ocon does indeed go quicker by a full second. As for Stroll, he's going to come around the final corner now. And he will go in behind Sebastian 4/10 slower. So that's pretty much that for the first runs. So we'll skip to the start. We'll skip to the end of the second runs now and see where everyone stands up. Right, end of the second runs now. Clear air for both guys. They haven't been impeded, so I've taken over control of both of them this time. So let's see where, if we can improve. At least I hope we can improve. Sebastian's green in both sectors, and does he improve? He does, but only by 100th, so he's out of qualifying. Here comes Stroll. He's green in both sectors, so, and he...
The checkered flag is now out.
Again, also only improves, but by a few hundreds, so out of qualifying, no real surprise in all honesty, so we'll put Sebastian all the way down on these. As for everyone else, it's pretty much just... Well, this is this is Albon. He's been held up by an AlphaTauri, so he's not improving his time. He's still 4/10 off Stroll as well, so I don't know where Williams, especially Albon's pace, has gone in this last part of the series. It's just disappeared. Latifi hasn't improved. And yeah, Albon, as I knew, wouldn't improve either. So, just got these last few guys coming across the line. But yeah, usual business, guys. We're out in Q1. Only cars behind us are the Williams. So let's go ahead to the setup screens for the strategy and see what we're working with. It's your Bogo standard one-stop mediums to hards, which let's have a look at the state of these. So it's going to be a push to do. It's going to be a push to do that. So I'm going to put Sebastian on this one anyway. I'm going to do this just to try and conserve his mediums a little bit longer. But yeah, I don't want to be doing anything. Yeah, I don't want to be doing anything too like fancy with him. So we'll leave the strategy where it is, and we'll select that for Sebastian. In the meantime, for Stroll, so it's pushing the hard tyre middle stint. So for Stroll, we'll do something a little bit different with him. We will start him on the hards instead, and then put him on the mediums for the end. As you can see, it's going to be a bit of a push. Actually, you know what? We won't do that. What we'll do instead, we'll do the two-stop with Stroll, just to cover all our bases. Do soft, medium, and do we want to do the hard tyre at the end? Yeah, we'll do the hard tyre at the end. That'll probably be the better solution. So do that 15 there for Stroll, and then bring the hard tyres back to here. So that'll give Stroll a little bit of leeway. So 15 laps on the softs, we'll go 19 on the mediums, then the rest of the way on the hards. He's got a bit more of the hard tyre to play with then, so we'll leave that there for Stroll. Do that, upgrade the strategy, and do that for him. We might as well just try something different pertaining to safety car and whatnot. Okay, for whatever reason, his self-confidence has defaulted to back to where it was before. So let's go down here. We can only do 50. we can literally go up one click and carry the maximum amount of fuel we can for both of these guys. So might as well. And yeah, let's go to the grid and see how we do in the race.
It's a cloudy night tonight, but otherwise the weather looks good for the race. And there's Sebastian Vettel. They'll be starting the race from the bottom half of the grid, so there's a fair bit of ground to make up. There's Lance Stroll, down the grid. They're starting in the bottom half of the grid today, so there's a lot of cars between them and the podium. The teams are ready to go. Hold on tight. It's
Green
the
flag
Abu
at the
Dhabi
back of the
Grand
grid.
Prix.
5 red lights to the finale of 2022, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and we are underway. Sebastian in P15 at the moment. We're going to leave him as is because we're not pushing with him to start this race. And he will have Zhou down. He'll have a Stroll down his inside. Sorry, so we'll actually do this for Sebastian now. Don't fight your teammate, bud. Let him go. So we're not fighting We're not fighting Stroll at this point in the race, so there's no point in pushing overly hard. Russell is back down here with us, I figured he would, and Hamilton is as well. So both Mercedes are down here. I'm going to let Stroll on the soft tyres do what he needs to do. And Vettel is... went for a move on his teammate because I've still got him on don't fight his teammate. He's now stuck in 3 wide through this section with Latifi and Russell. I'm going to need to take him off that now because otherwise he's going to get overtaken by Latifi. That's what we don't need right now. And that'll give him enough leeway to get ahead of Latifi, but Russell will get ahead. I'm not overly concerned about that.
Really?
Yes, really, they're in a better car, Sebastian. Let it go. So, early stint of this race. Stroll is almost at DRS range already, so not much really going on there for him. So what tyres everyone else on? Oh, so fair, it's an even spread, so some of them are on the 2 and some of them are going to try the 1 stop. So we kind of like didn't really make a bad decision either way. So that's not disencouraging. So as Stroll's got Russell all over the back of him, let's go and deploy down the main straight.
If you need it.
Okay.
As we head down the back straight, Russell's probably going to get ahead of us as well as Hamilton's going to get ahead of Vettel. Not much we can do either way about that. We'll go back to neutral just before the end of the straight. There goes Russell around the outside. It's going to be the inside for this corner. Back onto deploy for Stroll.
Come on.
Stroll's going to have the inside line for the next corner. Hopefully he can force Russell out. Not quite. That superior downforce of the Mercedes is going to carry Russell around the outside, and that'll give him the inside for here.
Race position gained for Mercedes.
So, yeah, we're going to be overtaken quickly by the Mercedes, but I'm hoping because we're not that far away from the DRS being activated, I'm hoping Stroll can at least stick with one of them.
DRS will be active.
The DRS is online now. So let's get Stroll pushing a little bit
No saving required.
Okay.
to at least try and stick with Russell, which hasn't happened. He's already fallen out of DRS. So that's massively annoying.
Save fuel, save fuel.
Copy.
Right, so I'm not going to do anything with Stroll's ERS on this one. I'm going to encourage Hamilton to try and come past us. If he does, he should do. Yeah, at the moment it's not happening. Meanwhile, for Sebastian, he's actually right up behind Lewis. So let's see if we can do something here with Sebastian as his DRS opens. And Hamilton does indeed get ahead of Stroll.
Drop back a bit.
But Vettel can't quite get there. Stroll's really slow on even on the soft tyres.
It's a race
Albon.
position gained for Mercedes.
Albon, meanwhile, is having a torrid time. He's all the way back here. It's actually Latifi who's the one chasing us. But then again, he is on the soft tyres compared to Albon on the mediums. But I'm confident if I can, if Vettel gets past Stroll, that Vettel will be able to get away from Latifi at the very least. So, as we're going to follow Sebastian now, because he's going to be in the DRS of Stroll. Stroll's already dropped out of Hamilton's range, so we'll do our best to get Sebastian past Latifi here. Stroll, sorry, as there's a yellow flag already in sector 2. It's only a yellow flag at the moment.
Car in the wall.
There's a car in the wall. And is that VSC? No, there doesn't appear to be a VSC yet. But it's done enough to slow us down.
Copy.
So push with Sebastian, get him on aggressive because we want him to get past Stroll.
Copy.
DRS opens. Here comes Sebastian round the outside. Stroll's going to try and put up a fight down the inside, but we're going to leave Sebastian on aggressive on his tyres. Stroll, though, just forces him out. There's another car that's gone off somewhere.
I think we've had a car run wide.
It's Gasly, it's run wide. And pretty certain that has dropped him. Well, it's dropped, Tsunoda's dropped to the back of the field because he had his crash. Gasly, no, he's still up there. He's still up there in P. What's it? And he's coming into the pits now. So, right, go on to Stroll because he's really starting to hold up Sebastian now.
Tsunoda's pitting this lap.
So, as we come onto the straight, don't fight your teammate, Stroll. Don't fight him. Let him go. Now, hold back cars behind. Of course you don't. Just going to let Latifi run away. And now,
Still a lot to play for.
we're going to make sure Sebastian gets away from Latifi. Down this straight. Stroll's already like 1.7 out of bloody out of range with Latifi, so yeah, Stroll's just stopped caring for this final race. Not like I blame him, but you know, on the soft tyres, I thought he would have done a lot better than this. But hey ho. So what we'll do, we'll leave the guys to it. Hopefully Stroll pulls his finger out and gets back up to the back of these guys. And we'll come back later and see how they're doing. Okay, let's stroll out a little bit longer to the end of lap 19. I wanted to push the soft tyres a little bit further because I want to see if I could do this two-stop with Stroll on medium to medium for the second part of his stint. Because Latifi's already come in and he's put on the hard tyres. So I'm pretty confident now that Stroll's going to catch up to him. As Tsunoda's already behind us. Latifi's 4 seconds up the road. Unless that's him right ahead. Yeah, it's only just him ahead. So I keep looking at Latifi's thing thinking that's how far he is ahead, but he's not. He's 1.6. So Stroll should have the tyres now to stick with him. And what I'm hoping for is for Stroll to stretch these mediums for as long as he can, and then we'll put him onto a second set of mediums at the end. So we'll leave him as he is for the moment, but then a little bit later into his stint when he drops to below 80%, I'll put him on. I'll put his driving style on light, just to conserve the tyres a bit and see if we can get him to stretch. But for now, Vettel's still only up here. He's in a world of his own. Everyone else, these guys have already pitted actually, so that's how little pace we had. Speaking of little pace, poor old Albon. I don't know what's happened to him this weekend. See, since that FP2 crash, he's just been nowhere. He's just been plodding around. I mean, Latifi's made his pit stop and he's already like right here, as opposed to Albon, who still hasn't. So that's what a lack of pace that Albon's had. And then Stroll and Tsunoda. Tsunoda's already caught up to us, big surprise. But yeah, we'll push forward to Sebastian's pit window. I'm probably going to do the same thing with Sebastian, take him all the way to 40% on his tyres and then switch over to the hards. Depending on, well, his pit window's open. So he's got about 3 laps until his actual stop lap. So we'll see how he goes. I may push it like 1 or 2 laps more. But at the moment, this is how things stand.
Martin have just gained a race
Right,
position.
just a few laps
Let's
forward.
take a
Stroll's
closer
Stroll's
So
been
this
on the
was the
move. He's
actual
already
marker.
passed Latifi. He got past him relatively easy, and now he's got down the inside of Albon here. Albon's going to try and fight this at the moment, but Stroll's got
And
the
they
better
clear
racing
it.
line
Big move
on the
for them,
brakes, and that'll
a
give
race
him
position gained.
the run under the hotel to get back ahead of Albon. So we now got, when Albon pits, he's going to be a full pit stop down behind us. We're going to ignore for Sebastian at the moment because he's still on 47%, and we want to take this to 40 like we did with Stroll. So we'll keep going, and then we'll do the one stop onto the hards, which is, we're on lap 23 now. So lap 24 should be the next lap, and then that will give us 34 laps on the hards. So that should be just about right. Right, we kept Vettel out to the end of lap 25. His tyre wear was pretty okay as Tsunoda has inevitably overtaken Stroll. And there he goes clean round the outside with DRS. But Vettel we've kept going until lap 25. The end of lap 25 onto 26. So he's going to come in and put on the hards. Decent stop from the guys, 2.4. That's ideal. And now Vettel is going to be on until the end of the race on these hard tyres. When the pit timing thing goes away, we will put him onto standard to get his tyres up to temperature. And then Stroll is Stroll's now ahead on circuit. He's still sticking with Tsunoda, so, and he's going to go for the move on him now down the back straight. Clean ahead with DRS, so it's doing pretty good. Tsunoda, I'm actually not too worried about this because Tsunoda has got to stop again because he stopped earlier on to repair damages on hard tyres. So he's probably going to stop on about lap, I would say 45, I would think. Well, between 40 and 45, I think, with the amount of life he's got left on those hard tyres. And he'll probably go on to a set of mediums, most likely, because I don't think the softs will last that long. They might do, but it's going to take a bit of saving from Tsunoda. But at that point, if Stroll keeps fighting him like this, then we're going to be well ahead of him. But as for Sebastian, he's currently only 1.9 behind Latifi. But much fresher tyres, so it won't take him too long to catch back up, I don't think. So, yeah, we got the boring middle stage of the race now, guys, so we're going to cut out the most of this. We'll pause if anything happens, but this being Abu Dhabi, it probably most likely will not. So, see you in a bit.
Take it easy.
And as I say that, the full course safety car has been deployed. Stroll did get back ahead of Tsunoda just before that happened as well. So this is an interesting scenario now, because I'm thinking Tsunoda may come in and take advantage of this free pit stop, and it's Latifi who's crashed out.
Safety car.
So Vettel was gaining on
Safety
Latifi.
car. Slow down. Get the delta positive.
How long have we got left to go? Well, lap 29 now. We're all going to be bunched up behind the safety car. Vettel's going to the end of the race anyway, so I'm going to ignore him. But Stroll, I'm going to bring him in early. Because at the moment, we're going to spend a few laps behind the safety car, so I might as well bring him in now and stick him onto the hard tyres. Yeah, so let's see what happens to Latifi as we go through. Yes, Sebastian was literally just on his case down the back straight, and he's just buckled, locked up, and slammed into the wall. Yeah, Sebastian. So Stroll should be coming in. firm changes. Stroll should be coming in now. I'm just going to make sure he does. We may as well, because we're going to spend a few laps behind the safety car, and we had to make a second pit stop anyway, so it's worth doing this. Tsunoda, meanwhile, stays out. So that's a bit puzzling on AlphaTauri's part. You might as well bring him in with his tyre wear. So Stroll's in. Vettel goes through. So we're going to be behind the safety car, so I might as well whack both of these guys on conserve. Build up a little bit of ERS for Sebastian as well.
Lift and coast.
Copy.
And then Stroll. Go back up to him. Conserve. Leave you on neutral. You're okay for ERS, but this don't know how long the safety car's going to be out for, because we're nearly a lap behind actually. I just saw on the mini map. I'll bring it up for you. Stroll's only just gone around the hairpin, and the safety car's now going through it now, so we're quite a ways behind. So likelihood is we're not going to catch the safety car queue at the end of this. Right,
Yeah.
I had to abruptly cut away from that, guys, because something came up in the background that I had to go and sort out. But as you can hear, the safety car period's now coming to an end. Stroll has dropped back to like 11.5 seconds behind Sebastian for some reason. So, but both guys have got plenty of fuel to play with. So let's get them on push and standard. I'm going to get these hard tyres warmed up a bit. And Sebastian, he's now neutral, push, standard, the same thing. Get their tyres up to temperature, and then when the race restarts, as I said, as you can see on the mini map, us and Tsunoda haven't been able to catch the safety car in time, so that's pretty much a foregone conclusion. But we're not in danger of being lapped at the moment, so that's handy. So we'll let the race get back underway. Both the guys are now going to the end, so unless anything happens, we'll skip through and see how things go. Well, just skipping to lap 36, and as you can see, Vettel, you can tell Tsunoda's tyre wear's kicked in, because Vettel has reeled him in, and straight past him goes Sebastian Vettel. He's now up into 16th place. I believe that should be the sign for AlphaTauri to do what they should have done under the safety car, and that's bring in
Looks like Aston Martin
Yuki
have just
Tsunoda
gained a
for
race
his pit
position.
stop. And then Lance Stroll, he's still back here. He's making slow progress, but he hasn't really made enough to actually make a difference at the moment, despite being on... Well, the safety car negged the fresh tyre difference between him and Vettel. And Tsunoda still hasn't come in, so that is puzzling that AlphaTauri would leave him out this long. In the meantime, as for everyone else, there's a few people who are on 60% tyre wear. They may be making another stop again, but we'll have to see. Means we've got the mad scramble here, as Norris is leading Zhou, Gasly and the two Hasses in this pile. And then in this pack further up, you've got Alonso in 5th place, leading this pack of Bottas, Hamilton, Ocon and Russell. So the Mercedes have made great gains from the back of the grid in their race. Norris has managed to keep ahead of Zhou, who in turn has kept ahead of Mick Schumacher. So you've got multiple groups here. Ricciardo's dropped back a little bit because he had a lock-up. And then obviously you just got us in our own little world here, as Vettel's actually already pulled out a 1.5 second gap to Tsunoda. So that's how badly Tsunoda's tyres are right now. So that might be the incentive, because he's currently at 43%. So that might be the incentive for these guys who are currently on 50 to bring their guys in. This top group, Alonso, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez and Verstappen, they might be going to the end of the race on, well, not Sainz, he's on 59, but everyone else should be going into their pit stops, as Tsunoda has finally pitted, so he'll be going on to a set of mediums. I know that for a fact, with 20 laps to go. But this front fight
Tsunoda
is
pitting
Red
this
Bull
lap.
1 and 2, Verstappen ahead of Perez. But more importantly, Sainz is ahead of Leclerc in the championship, but Sainz is going to have to stop again. So his two-stop hasn't played out the way he would have liked with that safety car. So that means, providing nothing happens, Charles Leclerc is going to be on course for the 2022 Formula One World Championship. We've still got 20 laps left, things can still change, but as Sainz has now pulled the trigger, he's come into the pits at the end of lap 38 for what will no doubt be a set of medium tyres. We'll follow him in. Yep, there's the yellow wall tyres. So now Sainz is dropping back into that group, behind that group of Russell, containing Russell, Ocon, Hamilton, Alonso, Bottas, who's now gotten ahead. Oh no, he's dropped back behind the second group as well. That really hasn't worked out. So he should have done what me and Stroll did. He should have come in under the safety car, like Stroll did. But him and Tsunoda, they didn't pull the trigger on it. So this is a disaster for Carlos, unless another safety car occurs that causes the field to bunch up again and everyone else makes a pit stop. That's likely not going to be the case.
So back off.
Copy.
Just got a notification through from Seb saying his tyres were getting a little bit warm, so we just put him onto light. And it's about time for Stroll to do the same thing during this portion.
Okay.
But yeah, at the moment, yeah, bit of a bottle job on Sainz's side of the garage, because now that has given Charles Leclerc... Oh, Hamilton and Bottas have now pit, and Ocon's pitting. So all the guys that are on 50% on the hard tyres are all coming into the pits now. So that's going to help Sainz out massively, gain some more positions back. Okay, so that's not so much of a disaster for Carlos now. Ahead of him, Magnussen will still have to pit. He's on 56% tyre wear. But Sainz has literally got to overtake everyone else, as Russell is now on the back of Alonso as they go down the back straight. But what they're going on, apparently Tsunoda is on softs for whatever reason that aren't going to go that long. He's 7 seconds behind Stroll, but I can't see him taking those soft tyres that long, because as you can see here, everyone else, Tsunoda stopped before this whole entire group, and they're on mediums going to the end. So I don't know what on earth Tsunoda was thinking putting those soft tyres on that are just going to cook themselves by the time he catches up to us. So now it's just a case of what happens next. Sainz is already on the back of Magnussen. Magnussen's going to hold station, but he will be coming in at the end of this lap. Schumacher's already made his pit stop, so Magnussen is going to be the next person in. As they come under the hotel section, he's got Sainz right on his gearbox, but I should say it, there he goes. He's going into the pits now, so that's another position for Sainz. Zhou is only just up the road, and then it's Alonso, Russell, and then back to the front. Leclerc is now chasing Perez for that second place. He's seen his teammate pit. He wants to go for these moves now, while his teammate is back down the field. And try and get those positions as Perez went to the inside. I thought Leclerc was going to go around the outside, but Perez was attacking his teammate as a means of defending himself from Leclerc. That is a normal that's the actual F1 2022 strategy that the AI use to protect themselves from you attacking them. They often go for a move on the car in front. But now Perez has actually got down the inside of Verstappen there into that corner, and he thought about it. He thought about the move, but Leclerc's sudden burst in pace is forcing Perez to get a move on, and Verstappen is not obliging. He's going to race his own pace, whether the guys behind him like it or not. A violent swerve over to the right-hand side from Verstappen to try and break the toe. Another lap completed as they come around the section here towards the start of sector 2 in the long back straight. Perez pulling Leclerc with him, and they're both right on the tail of Verstappen, so it all depends on what these guys are going to do. DRS is open for Perez. Perez has got to go for the move here, but Verstappen is not obliging. Leclerc closes his DRS. And not quite enough room there to make a move around the outside. He's playing this smart, Leclerc. He doesn't want to go for any rash moves that might end up taking him out of the race and allowing Sainz to get the points he needs. But Perez is going to think about another move. Not this time. No, Verstappen holds station. So at the moment, Verstappen, if Perez has got more tank in, if Perez has got more pace in the tank than Verstappen really should be letting him go. But Verstappen being Verstappen, with the rotten luck that he's had this year, he lost the championship like 6 races ago. It became mathematically certain he wasn't going to retain it after a quite frankly abysmal start to the season that he had. All the rotten luck in the world. He wants to go out at the end of this season on a high note, and he's not going to allow. He's going to race his teammate all the way to the end, it seems. As Sainz, it just showed up on the left-hand side there, banged in the fastest lap in the race. So Sainz is the fastest man on circuit on those medium tyres, and he's slowly but surely reeling in Alonso and Russell ahead. But it all comes down to whether these guys are going to pit again. As now Perez is alongside Verstappen, he's on the outside. This is going to be a race, this is going to be a battle between these two for the lead, and Verstappen pinches him onto the apex and stays ahead, but Perez is going to get another bite of DRS if he makes the move here, which he doesn't seem like he's going to. Leclerc, Perez tried a late shoot across to the inside. It may work, he's gotten his nose in. But it all depends if Verstappen's going to be compliant. No, he's not. He's going to force him out. Perez, as you can see, is getting a little bit frustrated now with his teammate. He's clearly got the pace that Verstappen doesn't. He really should, Verstappen really should think about letting his teammate go here. If they want to guarantee a race win, they want at least one car to break away. Verstappen clearly is not that car. Perez has been really equal in terms of pace and performance over this season to his teammate, which is surprising. Perez, Verstappen actually out and out has been like faster of the two, but Perez has just been so consistent all season. I think he's only retired from 1 race, I think, to my recollection. He's only retired from 1 race this season, and now he's pulled out in the DRS and he's gone straight past Verstappen. And Verstappen, I think Red Bull have finally had enough of giving the orders for Verstappen to let Perez through. And Verstappen very rudely shut the door in the face of Leclerc there. So now Perez, we're going to see if he does have the pace to pull away and pull his teammate with him. But carbon copy of what Perez has been doing with Verstappen. Verstappen's got his nose in, but Perez is clearly ahead and he's not going to allow that through. But Leclerc is down the inside and oh!
So let's look at this. There's Sergio Perez.
Leclerc went for the dive bomb on Verstappen, locked up and has taken out Sergio Perez as well.
The team are devastated.
The dynamic for the championship has all of a sudden just flipped on its head. Multiple cars have crashed, yellow flags are out. Both guys are continuing.
Collision.
We've already seen it, but both these guys are coming into the pits now. They have to. They were on the soft tyres, so they'll be going on to the mediums most likely, or another set of soft tyres. But the door has now opened up for this man. Carlos Sainz, committed to the two-stop. Didn't think it was going to work out for him, but circumstances have changed everything. Right, back from the second cutaway because of inconveniences. Apologise for that, guys, but Leclerc has now dropped down to 10th.
Alpha Tau regained a place.
Now 11th, so he's behind Gasly. No, he's back ahead of Gasly. He's going to get out just in front of him, so he's got one championship point to his name. He's on the soft tyres. There's no safety car. Sainz, his championship to lose now. It depends on what these guys ahead are doing. Russell, Alonso, and of course Verstappen. So let's see how that pans out. Stroll's been overtaken by Tsunoda already, but Tsunoda's tyres aren't going to last. I already know that, so I'm not too concerned. Vettel, meanwhile, he's in his own little world. Ricciardo's just gone through the chicane that Vettel's coming up to now.
No DRS.
And a new development, guys. Another safety car has been deployed. And Verstappen, I believe, has already gone. Yeah, he's already gone past the pit lane. So this is going to be an opportunity for Alonso and Russell to make their stops. In the meantime, here we are down here. 10 laps to go on 58% tyre wear. And that explains why there's a safety car, because Tsunoda has binned it for a second time. I do not believe this. Right, that's just made our decision a lot easier. So we're going to bring Vettel in. And for the last 10 laps, we'll bolt on a set of soft tyres for him. And we will do... Let's put Seb onto conserve, keep him on balanced for his fuel. He's got plenty of that, but we'll save the tyres. As for Stroll, we will do the same. Bring him in for a set of soft tyres, pit this lap. Balanced on his fuel. Right, it all depends on the leaders, what they do. It's been another crash for Tsunoda. I've seen the aftermath of it.
Car.
But Alonso and Russell do not come in.
Yellow ahead.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, at the moment, all the leaders have stayed out. Hamilton stayed out. Zhou, Perez, Bottas, Leclerc stayed out. No one else is pitting. Seems we're the only ones who are going to do it. We might as well. We're not targeting anyone right now, so we may as well just go for the pit stop. We're going to get in and out before the leaders come back round anyway, so we'll skip ahead to the end of the safety car and see where we stand. Again, the safety car is going to take a while. We didn't catch up to the safety car again. No surprise there, but we're on the soft tyres. But all eyes are going to be on up front, so we've only got a few laps to go, so we may as well get the tyres warmed up just before the end of the lap, and we'll have some fun with this.
Okay.
Because the safety car's now on its way in. In the meantime, Verstappen has got a job and a half to do to keep Sainz back. Sainz is right behind him with fresh and medium tyres for a 7-lap sprint to the end as we go racing again under the lights in Abu Dhabi, and already everything's happening behind. As for us,
We just need to push now.
as Sainz goes down the
Push.
inside, we just put Sebastian on a hot lap to try and get the fastest lap if we can. But Sainz, in the same place where Verstappen got past Hamilton for the championship, is Sainz going to do the same thing down the inside at the hairpin, and into the lead goes Carlos Sainz ahead of Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, George Russell. Lewis Hamilton is now onto the back of this field. Then we've got Zhou, Perez, Bottas. Bottas is attacking Sergio Perez on the medium tyres. The mediums are starting to become better than the softs now. So it's going to be a struggle for Leclerc to get past this pack, as Bottas is all over the back of Perez now. The mediums are now working so much better than the softs now this late in the race. Perez just manages to hold off. He's now attacking Zhou on the hard tyres, but just ahead, Hamilton had a look at Russell. Alonso still chasing Verstappen, but Sainz is starting to pull that all-important gap that he needs. In the meantime, we've put Sebastian on pushing the whole time. He's slowly caught up to Albon, who's a lap car. But I've put him on this pushing to try and get the fastest lap of the race. As he goes through the final corner, we'll put him straight back down onto everything when he goes past the line. And he unfortunately doesn't get it, but we've put in a decent lap, so we'll keep him on pushing for his fuel. As for Stroll, we'll do the same for him. It's a bit late, but we're well ahead of Albon, so it's not really too much of an issue. But for the last few laps, we might as well stick with it. Carlos Sainz has gotten the gap to Verstappen. He's 1.3 ahead of Verstappen. He's out of the DRS range. Verstappen, meanwhile, is comfortably out of Alonso's DRS range, but he has got both Hamilton, who has now got past Russell, and George Russell for company. So Alonso versus the two Mercs, like it has been the whole race. DRS will be active next lap. Meanwhile, in the background, Zhou is holding his own against Perez. Leclerc, meanwhile, has gotten past Bottas. But where does this stand in the championship? Perez holds the fastest lap, so Leclerc's only getting 4 points to Sainz's 25. And it was a 19-point gap in the championship as well. So if Sainz doesn't get the fastest lap, then it's going to be Leclerc's championship by virtue of more race wins. But Leclerc, he's right on the back of Zhou, as Perez got past Zhou. Hamilton's now gotten ahead of Alonso, just up the road you saw. But Perez has gotten ahead of Zhou, and that's going to leave Zhou susceptible to Leclerc on those soft tyres, which, despite being worn, it's still got more grip than the hard tyres. Zhou's been on those hard tyres a very, very long time. So now it's all going to be down to Leclerc with DRS, but the ever-present threat of Bottas in the background, whose tyres are going to be a whole lot better than Alonso's. Leclerc's, but Leclerc is making the move on Guan Yu Zhou. No, he doesn't quite do it. Meanwhile, ahead, Russell had a look at Alonso, who in turn had a look at Hamilton. Hamilton's on the medium tyres though, so he's going to go chasing after Verstappen now. He's going to chase after Verstappen for P2 in the race with 4 laps to go at the end of this one. Alonso still holding back Russell, but Perez is now joining in this fight now with his soft tyres. Again, much better than these guys' hards. He'll probably get past Alonso Russell, but I don't know if he'll be able to get close to Hamilton, because Hamilton's already pulled out a gap on Alonso, and he's going to be chasing after Verstappen. The gap's already down to 1.1 between them. 1 point skirting 1.2 at the moment. Now it's down to 1.1. There's another car that's gone off wide somewhere in the final sector, but Hamilton,
We've just had a car run wide.
Bottas has run wide, so Bottas has dropped away from that dropped away from chasing Leclerc. But Hamilton is now within DRS range of Verstappen and out of DRS range of Alonso. So Hamilton is going to have free rein to attack Verstappen unimpeded. Meanwhile, in the background, Russell is going to get the DRS. He's going to power past Alonso, and he's going to pull Perez with him. Perez is going to get past as well. So Alonso has now gone from 3rd down to 6th in the space of half a lap now. Zhou is still holding back Leclerc, and Leclerc has now got Gasly for company now on the medium tyres, which are fresher. Only a little bit, but they are fresher. Leclerc's having to be super delicate on his soft tyres to make sure he doesn't end up losing out to Gasly, but he's going to. Gasly is down the inside at the hairpin, and he's going to try and push Leclerc out wide. Leclerc's going to hold his line. Not quite, I don't think. No, Gasly cuts him off. That's a disaster for Charles Leclerc. Leclerc again goes for the dive bomb, but this time he gets his braking right this time. But Gasly's still going to fight Leclerc for this P8. Down the inside, underneath the stadium section, this show is going so slowly. Gasly can't get that move done, and Leclerc is going to hold on to P8. That's a disaster for Gasly. He so almost had it, but this is so much different. It's Hamilton now. We just saw it there. Hamilton is now up into P2. He's ahead of Verstappen. So now Verstappen,
3 more laps.
as Bottas has run wide a second time now, as it just saw Verstappen, those hard tyres are starting to fall off so badly now, and Leclerc is going to have his best shot at getting past Zhou this time. Perez is going to be on the back of his teammate pretty soon. Meanwhile, Leclerc has indeed got past Zhou. Leclerc has got past Zhou, and Gasly has followed through. Gasly's not going to let go of Leclerc that easily. So, as it stands right now, Leclerc, if he finishes in this P7, will be the driver's champion. Everything's happened. That second safety car has brought Leclerc straight back into this battle. But Gasly, as you can see on the tyre wear, he's going to have fresher tyres, and he's not end of the season, sorry. It's all about pride. Gasly, he's not going to be afraid to have a go at the Ferrari if he gets an opportunity. But all three of these guys here are getting closer to Russell and Alonso. Alonso has got back ahead of Russell, but these guys' tyres are so badly worn out. They're so badly worn out. And I've just noticed Vettel has caught up to the back of this pack on his soft tyres. With 2 laps to go, he's on the back of this pack here, which is headed by Ocon.
2 more laps. 2 more laps.
So let's have some fun. We're going to have some fun with this. We're going to keep an eye on that fight up front. But I want to see what I can do with Sebastian. He's in a good place here. We're going to go to overtake here. As we go through the hairpin, and as we come out the hairpin, all out attack. Let's see if Vettel can get a couple more places. He's got Ricciardo in his crosshairs. Pulls out to the inside. Ricciardo's also got DRS, but Vettel is going to pull alongside. Is he going to get into the braking zone? Yes, he is. Right, back to light through this section. Coming out onto the next corner, back into attack again. We're going to have to see if Vettel can do something about Lando Norris this time. Norris, though, is in the slipstream of the Haas, and he's just going to hold it there. But that's a good bit of racing from Sebastian. He's gotten ahead of Ricciardo at the very least. So now we're on the penultimate lap still, but Sainz is going to come through to start the last lap.
Okay.
Sainz has started his last lap now. I did unfortunately leave Sebastian on deployed by mistake through that section, so I don't know how this is going to fare for him. I'll have to play this a little bit smart.
We just need to charge up.
Yeah, copy.
I just need to play this a little bit smarter for
So this is last lap. This is last
Vettel. Perez has now gotten ahead of Verstappen. I've just seen the top left-hand corner. So it's Sainz, Hamilton, Perez. But for now, Vettel is right on the back of Norris. We're going to give this one last go for the McLaren. There goes the DRS, pulls out. He's going to go for it. Has he got the pace to do it? He's on attack. Is he going to go for a dive like he did? I think no, Norris cuts him off. Norris cut him off at the last moment there, but he's still got a second bite of DRS. So let's see what he can do. I don't think he's going to be close enough for it. He may be. He's going to have a look around the outside. Come on, Sebastian. We'll leave you on attack. Go around the outside on those soft tyres. Norris just forced him out. that's pretty much it for the challenge of. Sebastian Vettel. He's got P15. Carlos Sainz, though, he's going to come through and he's going to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But in the background, unfortunately, it's Leclerc who has gotten ahead of Russell Alonso. He would have finished in P5 for the 2022 Formula One World Champion. Charles Leclerc takes his first championship of his career in 2022 after a hard-fought battle with his teammate. Sainz did his best. He did everything he needed to do, but circumstances allowed Leclerc to get back into the battle and take the points he needed to secure his first world championship in this alternative career mode, this alternative universe. Vettel did really well to catch up to the back of this group here that was headed by P9. A few more laps, and I feel he would have had a few more cars and gotten close to points, but that's a good sign for things to come, hopefully, going into next season. But there's the confirmation. Carlos Sainz wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. He takes the win. The podium is rounded out by Sergio Perez in second place. He did catch up to Hamilton and overtake him, despite those worn soft tyres, so great driving from Sergio. Hamilton rounds out the podium in P3, Verstappen P4, and then Leclerc, the World Drivers' Champion of 2022, finishes in P5. He did what he needed to do, despite early mistake crashing into Perez. Both him and Perez recovered well to be back in the points. Russell P14 to P6. Alonso did very well. He was in P3 for a lot of that last stint, but the tyres worn out, and that was the best that he could do. And then Pierre Gasly here in P8 as well, and then Guan Yu Zhou, Kevin Magnussen rounding out the points. But from Guan Yu Zhou all the way down to Sebastian Vettel was only covered by 4 seconds, and everyone was in DRS of each other. So all it took was like these hard tyre runners to make one mistake, and that was all it would have taken for us to get back into the race. But that's the final classification, and there's the confirmation. Charles Leclerc clinches the World Drivers' Championship by 1 single point from his teammate Carlos Sainz with his 6th win of the season. He did everything he needed to do, but even with the fastest lap, Leclerc finishing in P5, that was enough for him to do it. I did say P7 would have done it, but I obviously misjudged the gap in points. P5 was what Leclerc needed, and he got it. Even with the fastest lap, Sainz would have only tied on points, but Leclerc still would have taken the championship by virtue of more race wins. Sergio Perez finishes in P3 in the championship ahead of his teammate Max Verstappen with 5 wins to his 4, 14 points clear. So Perez asserting dominance in the Red Bull team this year ahead of Max Verstappen. Verstappen is not going to be happy with this season. That early season slump he had really cost him. Then Lewis Hamilton, solid P5, the best he could have done this year with the car he had. 3 podiums to his name. Valtteri Bottas, brilliant season for Valtteri to finish in P6. George Russell finishes in P7. Alonso, Gasly and Zhou. Great first season for Guan Yu Zhou in this career mode to round out the top 10. Solid first season for him. If he could build upon that, he could be a potential driver in the future. Ocon, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Norris, Tsunoda, Schumacher rounding out the points there. And then obviously ourselves, the Aston Martins and Williams, scoring no points this season. And the final confirmation, McLaren didn't score anything, but Haas only got the 1 point. So that's McLaren in P7, Haas in P8 for the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari, Drivers and Constructors' Championships this year. Their 16th Drivers' Championship and their 17th Constructors' Championship. They're back in business. Ferrari are well and truly back this season. After a 14-year wait from 2008, they've secured the double with Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Brilliant team this season. Red Bull, solid second place. Where bad luck between Verstappen as well. Verstappen really didn't do himself any favours with his mistakes early on in the season. Otherwise, it would have been a much closer championship. Mercedes solidified P3 earlier on. Solid season despite the terrible car they had. Alfa Romeo, the big surprise this year, P4 in the Constructors' Championship. They've asserted themselves at the top of the midfield, ahead of Alpine, AlphaTauri, McLaren, Haas, ourselves at Aston Martin, and Williams, of course, with the wooden spoon at the end of the season. So that is the end of the 2022 season, as Jack Doohan's got another development point that we can use. So as we go through the final payments there and into the final loading screen, our factory has been completed, and the refurbishment to the helipad as well. So everything has been done, as well as the research for the suspension. So now we're going to have we're going to go through a bit of admin. We'll probably do another pre-season episode for the start of season 2, because I want to get some more people on. Oh no, car development is now officially locked for this season, so that's a little bit annoying. That's a little bit annoying, but next episode, guys, will be the pre-season to season 2. You will see everything as it unfolds, with a new driver in the second car. Hopefully a better car after we do all the research and everything. So for now, though, guys, that is the roundup of Season 1 of my F1 2022 career mode. If you did enjoy the episode, do feel free to leave a like and a comment. It really helps. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications as before. I am David Clayton of KZR Racing, and I will see you next time for Season 2. Goodbye.